Hey guys, it's Donnie from Donnie Reviews and DB Films. I was just looking out the window. uh, Today I'm going to talk about, this is a new segment on my channel called, well, at the moment it doesn't really have a name. Yeah, I know, it's pretty embarrassing. So, yeah, it doesn't have a name yet, so it's pretty embarrassing. But probably by the time this video gets uploaded, it'll probably have a name. And I'll probably put like a little enunciation on the top that says it. But anyway, the topic of the day I want to talk about is, comic book movies. Because, we're going to have a lot of comic book movies coming out this year. It's, we're getting we just got we already had two coming out this year. One was a major box office critical and disappointment all around, and it was probably expected to be a disappointment anyway, which was Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. And we also got a second film coming out that came out this year, which was like a big splash and punched out box office records all over the world, worldwide, which was, you guessed it, The Avengers. And right now we already have two more comic book movies coming out this year, which is The Amazing Spider-Man and The Dark Knight Rises. And I will tell you this one thing: my brother and my brother Johnny are going to review the Spider-Man trilogy, the Sam Raimi trilogy, in preparation for the Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man's release. We are also going to review the Avengers, of course, because we were supposed to review it early of last month, but we had a lot of distractions, school, and a bunch of other stuff. So, but luckily, since the school year has ended, and now we have me and my brother Johnny, because he has a YouTube channel too, Arranger Benergy 15. He hasn't had a video uploaded yet, but that will change soon. And, go check out his channel. So, now me and my brother Johnny have time to make YouTube videos, and so that's why we couldn't get our Avengers review, done. But now we can. And I also saw Men in Black 3. I'm not going to tell you my opinion until I review the film. And not only that, but me and my brother Johnny, we are also going to review the Batman series, all the Batman movies. Obviously we're going to do Batman, the first four Batman movies from Warner Brothers, Batman 1989, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin. We're obviously going to do that, and obviously the Christopher Nolan films. I'm still thinking about, I'm not really sure if I want to put, the Adam West Batman, and I really don't know if I would, because it's really basic. That movie was basically made to cash in for the series, so maybe I'm gonna put it, maybe I'm not. But you know what? You can comment, all you viewers, you can comment below, and well, you can let me know if you guys want to see me review that film or not. And probably the most comments that have the same decision of the most of, will be the winner. So if you all say no, so if there's more people saying no than there are saying yes, I won't do it. If there's more people saying yes than there are no, then I will do it. So, yeah, but it's probably going to be a little mention. But anyway, what else? What else was there? Ah, yes, I'm also going to talk about also the upcoming comic book movies, which are coming out not this year, but in the future. Now, after Avengers came out, obviously, Warner's looked at that film. They're like, look at that money. Look at all that money Paramount, Disney, and Marvel are making. DC and Warner's obviously were looking at them, and who knows? Maybe The Dark Knight Rises is gonna win. Is gonna beat them out. Maybe it isn't. I'm pretty sure maybe it will. I'm hoping it will. I mean, like, alright, I'm not like. I've been looking forward to the film. I really have. Dark Knight Rises. I'm just psyched for it, like anybody else would. You know, all these trailers have gotten me really excited for it. But here's the thing: I'm also more psyched for Amazing Spider-Man as well, and I probably even more so than Dark Knight Rises. Because here's the reason why: the Raimi trilogy. Now, I'm just gonna go ahead and say this: Spider-Man 2. Not only was it the best of the series, in my opinion, and many others' opinions, but it's also Spider-Man 2 and the first one are also one of my favorite films of all time. Not my number one favorite film of all time, but it's on that list. They're on that list. But Spider-Man 2 is also Spider-Man 2 was the first movie I ever saw in the theater, and I loved it. And all the images of seeing that in the theater, Doc Ock, Spider-Man, and everything, those are images I'll never forget. I know I'm saying this, but really I should be saving this for the review with my brother Johnny, but you're going to hear it anyway. So, once you hear that in the review, you can probably skip it and just listen to my brother's opinion as well. But anyway, let's not talk about that. Anyway, well, we're going to talk about this because we're talking about comic book movies, but what else? Now, as I was saying, where was I? Ah, yes, because I got off topic. Now, when Avengers came out last month, Warner Brothers, and actually, this was not just last month, but they were looking at all the money that, Marvel has made the last couple of years and how DC has only made a ton amount of money with, they've really, recently, the only movies they've really been successful with was, Christopher Nolan's Batman series. And I think I think what they're thinking is, as long as Christopher Nolan is involved with their comic book movies, then they will make money and they will be successful and they'll be critically successful. And I think that's what they're thinking. Because remember when Green Lantern came out last year? Did that poster, or did any of the posters or any of the trailers have Christopher Nolan's name anywhere on there? No, because Christopher Nolan was not involved in it. So, basically, what was I? Basically, as Warner's is thinking that as long as they got Christopher Nolan, they got what they need. But, that's not, I don't think that'll be simple, because once Dark Knight Rises is out, it's over and it's done, Christopher Nolan, wants to move on to his other projects. Yes, he is producing Man of Steel, but he's only doing that just because, it's Superman, he just had to find out something to do. And as a matter of fact, really, he was hitting right, really, they came up with the idea for Superman before they came up with the final script for Batman 3. Well, at the time, for The Dark Knight Rises. So, I don't even think he was thinking about making a Batman, I don't think he was actually thinking about making a Superman movie, at that time. Because the writer who wrote the other two Batman movies in Blade Trilogy, I forgot his name. Maybe I'll put an enunciation up, because I forgot his name, but, he just came up and said, hey, why don't we just write a Superman script right now? I mean, they want to make another Superman movie. So, yeah. Now, here's the thing. I think I got off topic again. Anyway, Warner's is looking at, the Avengers and everything, and not only do they want, Christopher Nolan to stick with all the DC stuff, they also want a Justice League movie to come out, because we already know Flash is in the works, we already know Wonder Woman's in the works, and Green Arrow is in the works as well. So, I'm looking forward to those films. I don't get me wrong, I am looking forward to The Flash. In fact, after I saw Green Lantern, I was like, okay, well, they got Green Lantern on the screen, let's see who's next. And I typed in IMDb for Flash, and we got something. Now, personally, I kind of liked Green Lantern when I first saw it. Then I saw it again in the theaters, and then I was like, it was okay. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't one of the best superhero movies ever made. But it's not one of the worst superhero movies ever made. And but anyway, basically, now originally the original idea for Avengers was they were gonna. Okay, now this is a bizarre idea, even for many standards. They wanted to get Justice League out in 2013. They wanted a Batman reboot out in 2013, which is crazy because if they wanted to do that, they would have started development back in 2010, and this idea came out in 2011. So they really should have thought way back. I mean, there was actually they were trying to do a Justice League movie before back in like 2006, I think 2006 or 2007, but there were problems with with the shooting schedule in Australia. They were trying to compete with Nolan's Batman, which is kind of weird because they should have had like they should have had something intertwined, and plus the casting was weird. Like they were gonna have a rapper as Green Lantern, which was crazy, because it's very rare for a musician to come off even superb as a actor. I mean, well, let's see how Rihanna does. And I mean, well, I haven't seen Battleship, but I'm gonna check it out when it comes out on DVD because I'm not gonna see it in the theaters. But anyway, where was I? So in a way, comic book movies, there really are, DC and Marvel, they really are, like punching the max. Now, obviously, Iron Man 3 is in the works right now. It's currently being shot. Oh my goodness, it's currently being shot over here in North Carolina. I mean, not in the same city, obviously, but over here in this state, which is awesome. So that's fun. And also Thor 2 is in a working progress right now. They obviously won't go straight to production until later this year. I'd say probably till September. They won't be in production till September, I say. And I'm looking forward to both Iron Man 3 and Thor 2. I'm also looking forward to Avengers 2. And so that's really. Well, actually, there is another thing I want to mention. The Amazing Spider-Man sequel is also in the works, and so is Captain America 2 in the works. But just to let you all know, the release date for Captain America 2 is the most shittiest release date ever. April 4th of 2014. Really? You're going to release the movie in April. You're not going to make any money, nor are you going to get enough kids to go see the film because they'll be too busy being in school. I can, May, even releasing it in May is, the dumbest idea. I was actually pretty pissed off when they released Avengers in May. Because, I was lucky to go see it opening weekend. I was lucky. So, Marvel has a tendency of releasing movies way too early in the summer. And way too early in the season. Way too early in the season. And sometimes way too early in the year. Like, Ghost Rider 2, the second reason why it didn't do well, in my opinion, was it was released in February, which, was the last time you want to release a movie. Thor 2 is being released in November, which is crap. The only movie I know that's released in the fair amount date is Iron Man, which is being released in June. So that's fine. I mean, with Thor 2, I guess because they're going in production later this year, and I guess they won't be able to finish it by summer of next year. But why not just summer of 2015 or something like? Excuse me, summer of 2014 or like something like that. I mean, balance it out. But then again, maybe I'm giving them too many bright ideas. So, yeah. And also, I also want to go back to DC again. I am really looking forward to the event, to the Just JLA movie. I mean, I know by the time they get it finished, it'd probably be, who knows, probably 2020. And oh, and another thing, they're also planning to do the Batman reboot is still in the works, which I really really don't want to get made. Stick with Christian Bale. I mean, who else is gonna play Batman? Seriously, who else is gonna play Batman? I mean, like, there was no. I mean, I can't. I don't know an actor. There's not an actor I know that can fit the role. Well, let me rephrase that. I don't know an actor who is able to. Well, dang it, I gotta think. Well, you see, okay, basically, there's not an actor who can portray. I mean, there's not an actor in Hollywood who's like from 28 to at least 30 years old who hasn't done a comic book movie. I can't think of an actor unless you go with an unknown. I can't think of an actor. So really, rebooting Batman is just pointless. And plus, Christian Bale, he's not even. I mean, if it was because the actor's getting too old, I was think, okay, fine, he's getting too old. But actually, no, that wouldn't even be an excuse, because look at the graphic novel Dark Knight Returns. I mean, he comes back as an old dude. So that's, and also they're titling it. This is what they're titling the new reboot. They're titling it The Batman. Yes, The Batman. I mean, what's wrong with the title Cape Crusader? What's wrong with it? I mean, they could have they could have titled that with The Dark Knight Rises, and I assumed Nolan didn't want to do that because I guess, he figured Warner's would save it for the reboot. They're not saving it. So maybe they're going to save it for, I don't know, the reboot of the reboot of the reboot. So that's all I got to say about comic book movies. I really hope these movies will do well, and I really hope they won't be disappointments. Amazing Spider-Man better not be a disappointment. I actually hope they didn't pick Mark Webb just because of his name. I really hope they didn't. If they did that, Sony are a bunch of idiots. I have nothing against Mark Webb. But anyway, that's all I have to say. I really hope, and I also, obviously, we all know Dark Knight Rises will not be a complete disappointment. It'll be great. It'll be good. I mean, who knows? Maybe it'll be good. Oh shoot! I shake the camera. But overall, that's all I have to say about comic book movies. Sorry this was a long rant, or a long topic thing. But anyway, this is Donnie Banerjee, Donnie Reviews and DB Films, signing off. See you later.